Hi, welcome to Khyber Diary. Dear viewers, I'm your host, Dr. Muhammad Shahid, and today we are connecting two stories in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. One is about a recent suicide attack in Dera Ismail Khan district, which claimed several lives, and the other is the mass evacuation from Tirah Valley of Khyber tribal district, which borders Afghanistan. So, together, these stories show that militancy is not only killing people, it is moving people. On January 23, a suicide bomber detonated an explosive vest and killed around 7 people in Dera Ismail Khan district. The attack venue was the house of Noor Alam Mahsood, which was a pro government community figure linked to a peace committee in the area. No group has claimed responsibility for this attack, but suspicion commonly falls on the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or TTP, given past patterns in the region. While the investigations are underway, there are key questions about the facilitation chain because such incidents happen not just because of the bomber, but there is a whole chain involved in it. There are handlers, there are safe passages, logistics for such kind of terrorist attacks. And the counter-terrorism department says that it has identified the bomber as Abdul Rahman, and the blast happened inside the hujra. Hujra is an outhouse and part of the house in Pashtun society where people entertain their guests. So there was celebration, a wedding ceremony, and during that the blast happened. Peace committee linked figures, people or the elders of the peace committees in different areas, particularly in tribal region, have been targeted in the past as well. Because such figures are considered, they are considered state aligned. That's why militants often target them. And the attack venue that was a wedding ceremony. So, it has caused definitely such kind of ceremonies that have minimal security, but they also have maximum psychological impact and psychological because people. So, if a wedding ceremony becomes the battlefield, so it doesn't just leave casualties, but it changes how people meet, how people socialize. So there's a fear among people in the area, and even such kind of attacks have taken place previously as well. And this is not in the recent past. This is not the first attack because in Tang district there was an attack on a police vehicle on January 12th, which also claimed six police officers' lives. And besides that, in Lucky Marwar, there was another suicide attack recently on the 1st of the December last year. I mean, that was also a recent incident that also targeted a police mobile attack, and several people were killed, including police officers. Mainly, they were police officers, the victims. So, Dera Ismail Khan district has been scene of violence since a long time. The southern part of KP, Dera Ismail Khan, Tong, these areas, because and the main reason for violence in these areas is that DA Khan is in close proximity to South Waziristan region. South Waziristan has traditionally remained a hotbed for militants. So that is a major reason because militants just come to DA Khan and they can stage attacks easily there compared to other areas because it is near them. Now, here is where it connects to civilians. This week, more than 70,000 people have fled Tirah Valley of Khyber Tribal District. Khyber District, particularly Tirah area, is located on the border with Afghanistan. And the main reason is because people are afraid of a military operation that is likely to be launched. However, on the other hand, you see the defense minister of Pakistan has denied such reports. And he's recently said, the defense minister recently declared at a press conference that people are moving because of the harsh winter conditions and there is no planned military offensive. Now the registration of the displaced families is also underway in various areas, and they are facing a lot of problems. They are leaving their households, and their situation is really critical nowadays in this part of the country. So another important question here is how much the operation, even if it's launched in Tira, how much it can be successful. It's very problematic area because it borders Afghanistan, and militants can easily cross into Afghanistan when there is pressure and when there is military operation in the area, and they can wait out of the operation and they can again enter Pakistan. So that's why it's very difficult to control law and order and control militancy in Tira area like Tira. And critics again they argue that it is likely that civilian will be displaced, and yes, there will be temporary tactical gains on the ground, but still there can be maybe there is limited damage to the militant leadership because they can easily flee to Afghanistan into Afghanistan and return to Pakistani area after the operation is concluded. So how this problem can be resolved? There are different uh, views about it. Some people say dialogue can be reopened with the militants, TTP militants, and there can be some limited arrangements in some a few tribal districts. So how does this problem end, and how it can be tackled? The issue of Taliban inside Pakistan, there is no single consensus. Some argue for reopening dialogue with the TTP militants. They suggest some limited arrangements in some tribal districts in order to move these militants and to resolve this problem of Taliban. However, there are many who oppose this idea because they think that it can legitimize militancy, and they are not, they don't, they think that it's not good to agree with whatever the military would say. So there's a serious problem now, and beyond talks, analysts also point to some other parts like intelligence-based operation. Instead of full-scale operations, some analysts say there can be intelligence-based operations, particularly in the areas like Tira, where militants can cross the border into Afghanistan and they can again return after the military operation ends. So some analysts also call for intelligence-based operation instead of mass troop deployments in such areas. And so the main issue is the financing of the terrorism, and it's very important to during these intelligence based operations, the main issue is the how to control and limit the financing and crack down on the financing of these militants. And uh, also we need to, although Pakistan has taken up this issue with Afghanistan, and Pakistan has repeatedly asked Afghanistans not to harbor TTP militants on their soil. uh, Again, the issue is that these same militants, the TTP militants, had fought against the United States alongside the Afghan Taliban when the American-led forces were there in Afghanistan. So they already have some close relationship between them. But now, for policymakers, it is an issue nowadays. And when officials deny a large-scale operation, even defense minister, as I said, the defense minister of Pakistan has said that there is no planned military operation. Still, the fear of escalation alone can trigger mass displacement. Families leave preemptively because they have seen this movie before. Even before such kind of operations has been launched and people have left their areas, particularly in tribal districts of KP. And recently, the KP's provincial government and provincial leaders, they have also criticized the government, and they have warned against any full-scale military operations. So Then the cross-border dimension, as I discussed, that is very difficult thing because Kabul has denied such claims that they are harboring Pakistani militants, but still the problem continues. And this dispute has also spilled into economics because Pakistan, in mid October 2025, Pakistan closed its border with Afghanistan. It has also led to economical problems, financial problems. Traders are facing problems. The trade containers, hundreds of containers are stuck inside Pakistan. So this issue has, it shows how the international politics affects ordinary livelihoods. So what is the practical response after the DI Khan and during the ongoing, after the DI Khan attack and during the ongoing displacements from Tirah Valley? The first of all, authorities need to protect such gatherings and in high risk districts to rapid response planning. And secondly, the public figures, they also definitely need protection in such situations. And the other most important thing, as I discussed, that it's not just a bomber alone. Whenever there is a bomb attack or suicide attack, so there is a handler, for example, there may be some handlers for that suicide bomber. There may be some routes used by those bombers and facilitators and safe passages. So all these things need to be kept in mind. And because stopping one bomber doesn't stop the pipeline, so authorities need to, our security and agencies and authorities need to take care of all these things, factors. So 1 week has almost 1 week has passed since the DI Khan attack. But this story is not only what happened in DI Khan, it is what that attack and others like these such kind of attacks in other districts, whether it takes place in any area in the country, what they are doing to civilians, fear, displacement, and economic shock waves, which can stretch from the border areas to the down country markets even, and it is affecting everybody. So thank you for being with us, and that was our today's episode.